Good morning. It is Iesha here with lesson 4 of our 7-day happiness upgrade. And today we're going to talk about embodiment. So I've referred to this earlier on in our program, and I first of all just want to say this is a really huge topic. And it's much easier for me to teach this in person, where I can watch the nuances that run through a body. And I'm also really, really good at being able to track where someone is at through years of working as a healer and a helper. That's just one of the things that I'm really good at. So it's easy for me to see where someone is in their body, where the energy is. So think of today as an introduction, and as like all the other lessons, they're food for thought, they're ideas to digest. And know, good morning, Raylene, know that if you want help with this, live and in person, then I am available for that. So think of this as an introduction. The other thing I want you to think about, we are learning a skill today, or we're starting the process of learning a skill. But unlike learning to drive or learning to dance, where there's a system of moves you need to remember, embodiment is more about unlearning. So when we're born, if you watch a little baby, they actually know how to release pressure from their body through stretching. It doesn't occur to them to feel pain and just trudge on and ignore it, or good morning, Debbie, or pop a pill to ignore it. We're born embodied. And similar to, if you get up in the morning, if you look at a dog in the morning, say, they stretch pretty much every time they've laid down. They stretch before they get up and move. So that's embodiment. It's like, oh yeah, in my body and moving. And babies do this too. And through life, for whatever reason, we learn a system of disconnect. And so today really is about unlearning and dropping in. So we're going to do this as broadly as I can think of. Now, I've spoken to you before, good morning, about congruency. So when I use that word, might not be how it's defined in the dictionary, but when I use congruency, I think of it as a body, mind, heart, soul alignment, when your whole body says yes to something. And so this first exercise I'm going to teach you to do is I'll be looking to teach you to track for congruency signals. And when I say that, I mean it's your body saying yes to something. Now, there are so many pieces to embodiment. First of all, this vehicle here, and your amazing vehicle for life, is the result of millions of years of evolution. There is so much wisdom in that body. And so there's all sorts of things going on when we respond to life. And some of it is instinct, some of it is intuition, some of it is spiritual connection. And we don't need to define all those things. It's just about, good morning, Sonia, it's just about understanding that embodiment is being present and knowing that our awareness of body, mind, heart, and soul is something that we do with our vehicle. Right, so let's have a practice. We're going to show you how to recognize what's true and what's not true, and we'll start with something really simple. So first of all, if you're doing a lot of other things, I ask you to just put those down for a moment. And for me, when I'm wanting to get connected to my body, I generally put my hands on my body. You would have seen me do that in the lessons. I'm wearing a lapel mic for the first time today, so I don't want to do too much touching in case it goes crackle, crackle, and is annoying for you guys. But putting your hands on your body, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions and just see what happens in your being. So first things first, I want you to maybe close your eyes, not if you're driving, and just say, my name is, and then say your name. So my name is, and just see what happens. What we're tracking for is sensation in the mind, the throat, the heart, your solar plexus, in your gut, lower down. And for a point of contrast, think of a name. So think of a name probably of someone of the opposite sex, and something that's wildly disconnected from your name. So, you know, my name is Iesha. For this, I might say my name is Wolfgang or Cedric or something like that, right? So pick a name that is not yours, that doesn't belong to anyone you know, that's wildly different, and do the same thing, connect with your body in the same way and say, my name is that name you've chosen. And see what happens in your body. So the more embodied you get, you'll feel a real difference. Now, everyone's congruency signals are different. For me, when I say my name is Iesha, I feel like a warmth inside. When I say my name is Cedric, I get kind of an uplift through the bottom of my body. There's just a little bit of my body going, nah. So for those of you that are listening live, let me know how you've gone with that. And for everyone listening afterwards, let me know how you've gone with that. This is just the first practice exercise in getting to know what's true and what's not true. And just remember, this is kind of learning plates on beginning lessons. Now, you can practice this with saying where you live, basic things that you know, body, mind, heart, and soul are true and not true, and just learn to track. Sometimes the truth, when I have a really massive truth in my work, when someone lands in a spot and we get that absolute congruency with a big issue, with a relationship solving issue or career or a really big aha, my whole body does tingles. And the same is true for me when I realize a truth. So congruency signals for me for the big stuff is kind of like, whoa, it's undeniable. But my name is Iesha and my name is Cedric. It's different. Even saying it like that, I feel my congruency no, but I've been practicing this for years and years and years. I'm going to give you another example. I want you to think of someone whom you would love to hug or be hugged by. Now pick someone that is alive and well, so that we're not thinking of, oh, I wish I could hug my nana, but she's no longer here, because it's going to give you a range of other signals. Pick someone that you know, that you like, that you feel safe and comfortable with, and that you would like to hug and be held by. So think of that person. I'll do the same. And now imagine yourself hugging or being hugged by that person, and that congruency signal of your body saying yes to it. So again, for me, it feels like a warmth, and there's an opening. There's a part of my body that just goes, kind of relaxes into that experience. These are really subtle internal shifts, a little bit physical, a little bit energetic. Okay, so have that experience, try a few different people, and we're not going to have time to try a few different people now, but just in your own time, and just feel the difference from when your body says yes and when your body says no. So now think of someone that you don't have a good connection with. So when I first learnt this, I used to choose a particular politician who I had wildly different idealistic, different value set to. And he was my person that I used to think of, oh, imagine if he wanted to hug me, or I was in some situation where I needed to be hugged by him. So pick someone, doesn't have to be a politician, just someone that you, not someone horrifically scary, because we're just trying to work with the subtleties. Most congruency signals and embodiment are much more subtle than the wild yes and the wild no, right? So pick that person that for whatever reason you don't feel safe with, you don't like, you've got a values misalignment with, and imagine that you're in some situation where you needed to hug them, or those childhood moments that a lot of us had where there was a family expectation that you were meant to kiss aunt or uncle so-and-so, and your whole body was like, oh, I don't want to. So now imagine that hug. You're in it. Oh, I'm thinking of the person, my person. It was from that old politician. And feel what happens in your body. So it might be a tensing, it might be a shutdown, it might be a disconnect, it might be all sorts of things. And let me know. Concurrency signals are really interesting. And the more you guys can share with each other, the more someone might use some words that helps you go, oh yeah, that happens with me. So these are just two really basic examples for just feeling when your body says yes and when your body says no, or when your body recognizes truth and when your body recognizes untruth. Because when we can live our life with total consent, an amazing thing happens, not just with soul deep happiness and surface happiness, but also with confidence. When we do things with our body that our innate wisdom, our essence is saying no to, we set up that disconnect. And consent isn't just about sex, it's about everything. So I want to add something in off to the side. So let's imagine you have a business and you know that public speaking will help you in your business, right? And so when you think of doing public speaking, your body gives you some feedback, right? Now, this is different to usually, and again, we'd need to individualize this a little bit, but I'm going to just do broad examples so that they're hopefully useful for all of you. When we want to do something, like in an earlier lesson, I was talking about wanting to learn to drive. So there might be some fear. So the body has sort of a, ooh, I'm scared. So there's some feedback. It's different to the warm yes. But when we congruently want the result, it's a different feeling. And this is going to require practice. So let's imagine the public speaking example. Maybe there's a bit of, there's a bit of nervous excitement. There's a bit of just flat out nervousness, but you really want to share your message. The feeling in the body, and the way to do a bit of a check is when we're wanting to do something, and if you say inside your body, we'll use public speaking as the example, and if you say inside your body, I'm in the process of learning how to be comfortable with this. I'm in the process of learning how to be more comfortable sharing my message. I give myself permission to learn and grow and gain skills over time. So if public speaking is something that you are congruent with on that deeper level, but you just don't have the skills to know you'll do it well, that affirmation will actually create that congruent, oh yes, wouldn't that be good? Or if you imagine, okay, well, can I imagine being there and imagine myself 5 years in the future when it's easy for me, and your body will go, oh yeah. There'll be a congruency signal when you understand the process. You will never, ever get that congruency signal if you're trying to imagine. So let's pick that person that you didn't want to hug or be held by. And if you set an affirmation going, I'm in the process of learning how to be in a hug with that person, your body will still go, nah. Can you feel the difference? So sometimes our body gives us feedback that something is a little bit scary or it's a bit of a stretch, but when we want the result, There are ways of talking with yourself to see, okay, am I trying to push myself to do something that is out of alignment with my essence? Am I trying to be a needs shade plant in a full sun? And going through that, like I said to you, I gave the public speaking example, like I'm in the process of learning, whatever. When you go through that, if you're trying to do something out of alignment with your values, when you get, or your essence, when you get really, really well practiced at embodiment, you'll feel, no, it's still a no. I get that thing that I'm wanting to do is great for other people, but it's not really that great for me. When it is in alignment with your essence and when it is something that you truly want, the feeling is different. Now, I know I'm talking about subtleties, and the subtleties take practice. So that is what I want you to practice and think about with regards to embodiment. And there's lots of beautiful things you can do to be more connected with your body. A lot of us are disconnected from our body based on body image and a whole lot of things that aren't useful. So obviously in 15 minutes we can't undo, a lifetime of socialization, but these little skills, they're simple but practiced over time, will give you amazing insight into the wisdom that you are carrying with you every day of your life. So that is it from me this morning. I would love you guys to share your congruency signals, and maybe you might need a day to practice and really feel into it. I would love to hear how you went. And I hope the lapel mic has made me easier to hear. So thank you very much for being here. I will be seeing you tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about values. So important. All right. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being here.